security devices, which includes firewall, DLP solutions, etc. So I was a part of the installation and operation team. So I use my like experiences which I have got during my work time. So today's topic I have selected is next generation firewall, because nowadays in market there are a lot of firewalls, but generation firewall is a trend which is accepted by industry. Most of the banks and the big corporate houses are using next generation firewall only in their perimeter, because of a lot of features provided by next generation firewall. So I'm going to share my screen and will show you some like slides which I have prepared on next generation firewall. One minute. Let me know once it is visible to you.
Yeah, it is visible now.
Okay. So firewall would be like everybody would be aware about the firewall, like what it does. Am I right, guys? So can anyone say if anyone from this group is not knowing about the firewall? I hope everybody is aware, right? Right, friends? Yeah. Okay. So I understand everybody is aware about the firewall. So the firewall basically is like a device which allows the traffic which we intend to like gate and block the traffic which is not intended by us. So this is the prime like work of the firewall. So my topic of the day is next generation firewall. Next generation firewall is a network security device that provides capability beyond a traditional stateful firewall. While a traditional firewall typically provides stateful inspection of incoming and outgoing network traffic and only allows or block the traffic based on port number, protocol, and filter traffic based on administrator defined rules. So traditional firewall was only working with port and protocol numbers. Okay, and next generation firewall includes all these features of traditional firewall. Apart from this, it added additional feature like it blocks modern threat such as advanced malware and application layer attacks. Okay, it is having a lot of feature that we are going to discuss in next slides. So Gartner, according to Gartner, this is the definitions of next generation firewall. Gartner is basically a research organization which research the market and prepare a list where it defines the leaders, visionaries, and each player and challenger in the market based on like their services and technologies. Okay, so Gartner has defined next generation firewall on like this standard firewall capability. It should have standard firewall capabilities like stateful inspection, integrated intrusion preventions, application awareness and control to see, block risky applications. What are the risky applications which can harm the organization? Threat intelligence sources from where like any threat is getting originated from different countries, geolocations or IP addresses and all, and technique to address evolving security threats. These are the like features should have to be a next generation firewall that Gartner has defined. So you can see this is the list. Actually, this is a report of Gartner where Gartner has shown the leaders, challengers, niche players, and visionaries in this slide. You can see. So in the list of leader is like Palo Alto, Fortinet, Cisco, Checkpoint. These are the leaders in firewall market currently. So on the top is the Palo Alto firewall in this list. Apart from this, there are many other firewall like Postpoint, Sophos, Microsoft F5, but Palo Alto is on the top. So in next slide, we are going to discuss about the Palo Alto firewall, which is performing quite well nowadays in market, and all the big corporate houses has included this Palo Alto device in their like perimeter services. So the Palo Alto is founded by Nirjuk. Nirjuk was basically an Israeli American who also worked in Checkpoint company, and he included all the features of Checkpoint and added some additional features in Palo Alto, and founded this on March 1st, 2005. In 2018, Palo Alto Network was listed 8th in the Forbes Digital 100, and 85 out of 100 Fortune companies are using Palo Alto Firewall in their environment now. 70,000 customers in 150 plus countries are using this device. And this device, this Palo Alto is 8-time leader in Gartner Magic Quadrant. Okay, one report I showed you, but it was 8-time leader in Magic Quadrant. So this is the picture of this firewall, which is the next generation firewall working on layer 7, the OSI layer. So the PA220, PA800, PA220 R 3200 series, 5200 series. These are the like a series of Palo Alto firewalls, and this is a look basically. Apart from this, there is 7,000 series firewalls, which is not normally used like by small companies or corporate. It is used by ISPs. So I have got opportunity to evaluate all these firewall except this 7,000 series firewall. So also Palo Alto provide VM series like firewall, means we can deploy Palo Alto in software form also in like Alibaba Cloud, AWS Cloud, GCP Cloud, Microsoft Azure Cloud. There also we can deploy, because nowadays everyone keeping their servers and services on clouds. Okay, uh, because of the feature of cloud. So for protecting the resources on the cloud, they require some security, which is like understood by Palo Alto, and they have developed this VM series firewall also. So these are some of the models of VM series firewall, like VM50 Lite, VM100, VM300, 500, and 700. And these are like the resources which is required to deploy this device on the cloud. So Palo Alto protect like data centers, on-premises data center, as well as the resources which is on cloud that can be protected with the help of this device, and it gives the entire features which it gives in hardware format. The same feature can be achieved on software format in VMs. So these are the key elements of Palo Alto network firewalls, which is the like complete visibility. It provides the complete visibility, reduced attack surface area. Complete visibility means what whoever is accessing any resources on internet, or from internet to internal resources, entire visibility is like shown in the report of Palo Alto. So that visibility help in forensic analysis also. Like if any incident happen, then forensic team or IT team can take the logs, and based on that they can analyze from where the threat generated, and who have committed these things. Everything can be like understood with this visibility, and it also reduce the attack surface area. Attack surface area reduction means the traditional firewall was just working with IP address, port number, and protocol. So IP address can be forged, can be like stolen by anybody else in the organization. Can anyone can assign and use. So actual culprit cannot be identified. But in Palo Alto next generation firewall, there is a feature of user ID. User ID means the username is shown in the report, and on the policy also. Like Palo Alto can be integrated with AD of the organization, and in system, whenever we log in with the username and password. So whatever username and password we are logging with, that is captured in the logs whenever we are accessing any resources. And there is a possibility of writing policy based on the username also. So instead, when we are accessing anything based on source IP, destination IP, if you are accessing based on the username, that is quite easy to identify any user, because IP address can be changed, but AD username cannot be like changed all the time. We can give anybody our AD credential, but that is not recommended best practice by the IP. So it has reduced the attack surface in that form also. It prevents all known threats. All known threat means whatever threats has been identified so far from different vendors in terms of antivirus and all threat database it is having, and if any of the threat comes from that, it like blocks or takes action as per the defined policies. Apart from this, it also take actions on the unknown threat. It is having a unique feature which is called wildfire, uh, which is USP of Palo Alto, that claims that it can like it can protect from zero day threats. Means if any threat which is not originated uh, as of now, and if any new threat is coming from that also, it can like protect the organizations. What For that it uses wildfire technology. Wildfire basically does a sandboxing kind of thing, and based on that it gives the decisions whether like particular file is graveware, malware, or benign, that it like give verdict in that form and update the all the firewalls of originating firewall or all the firewall of the world based on their settings. Okay, settings can be done that daily basis, weekly basis. This sort of settings can be done for antivirus and wildfire in the devices that we will see once we do any kind of evaluation then. Okay, so when it is detect and prevent new threat, which I have already said that zero-day protection can be achieved with the wildfire. That is the same thing. If any unknown threat is also coming, that can be identified and taken action based on that. So this is so. So whatever I have discussed, the point, it is from there only. Provide visibility that I have already said. Reduce the attack surface. Prevent known threat in forms of antivirus database which it have, an unknown threat with the help of wildfire technology. It prevent unknown threats also. So wildfire is a unique features which Palo Alto provide, and it proudly claims in market that they provide zero day protection. Many vendors claims, but Palo Alto is really working properly on this. One more. So structure. So it is having a unique structure. Palo Alto next generation firewall structure is like whatever it has single pass parallel processing engine. Means if any packet is entering in the Palo Alto box, it perform all the tasks at a time. In traditional UTMs, what was happening whenever any packet was entering in the UTM, it was doing networking, policy engine check, app ID, user ID, content ID. It was taking many things one by one. So it like enhance the time. Actually, it takes too much time to process that packet. But in Palo Alto, due to its SP3 engine, time is taken very less because all the processing happens one time parallelly. Whenever packet is entering in the interface, it does entire checking parallelly, so it saves times. So these are the things like policy checking, app ID, user ID, content ID, networking. Everything is performed parallelly, so it saves the time. So Palo Alto is having two plane. One is data plane and one is having management plane. And for both the planes, data plane and control plane, there is a separate CPU, RAM, and SSD. So the advantage of this is like if there is any attack has happened on the firewall, like in the form of flooding, so the firewall gets choked. So in that condition, we can take access with the help of management and kill the processes which is unwanted in the data plane. So this is an advantage of having a separate hardware resources for data plane and control plane. Uh,
Sorry to interrupt, Om. Actually, your slide is not moving. Can you check it?
Yeah, sure. So are you able to see structure and architecture of Palo Alto next generation firewall?
We can see that. So you are intentionally on that slide only?
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
I mean, okay,
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
I am
Okay,
in the
thank you.
on this. Yeah.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
This is about the control plane and data plane of Palo Alto. With the control plane, which is with the help of control plane, which is management plane, with the help of this, we do the logging, reporting kind of things, and all the configuration is done in management plane only. And with data plane, the other tasks are achieved like virus related scanning, spyware, and exploits. These things are checked on the data plane. This signature matching, security processing, network processing, this all happens on data plane. So this is really amazing features which Palo Alto provides. Architecture of Palo Alto firewall. So we, as discussed, Palo Alto firewall contains separate control plane and data plane. And Palo Alto firewall do have dedicated processor, memory, and hard drive. Yes, this is not in all the firewalls, but yes, Palo Alto provides this feature. As a result, it is like a market leader. Control plane is used for management of Palo Alto firewall, as I have already said, and it provides configuration, logging, reporting, and root update services. Whereas data plane consists of three type of processors that are connected by high-speed 1 Gbps buses. Okay, so this is really good features. And this is the packet flow. If you are learning Palo Alto and going in any interview, then this is a common question asked there, like SP3 architecture and control plane, data plane, and what is the packet flow in Palo Alto. Everything. I would like to show you this thing quickly. So what happens in Palo Alto packet flow, like it whenever any packet is entering on the interface, it checks first the source zone and addresses and user ID. Then after taking that, it takes the route lookup and policy based forwarding kind of thing it does. Then destination zone, it's the zone based firewall basically Palo Alto is. So it checks the zones also, destination zone where the packet has to go, and NAT policy is evaluated. So this is like the packet flow. You need to understand this. Uh, okay, so this is like then in security pre-policy check for allowed port, and if session is created or not. If session is created, then it goes with the fast path. It directly apply it directly forward the packet if session is already created. If session is not created, is it does the encryption. It check for the traffic is encrypted or not. If encrypted traffic is there, then it does that it decrypt the traffic. Basically, on internet nowadays, all the traffics are encrypted. It goes in HTTPS format. So in that case, if we are applying like a decryption policy, then it decrypt the packet which is encrypted in firewall and checks if there is any threat inside that packet or not, and then it take actions, because encrypted packet is not normally scanned in the firewall. It needs to be like decrypted. After decryption only it identify whether there is threat or not. Nowadays 80% traffic on the internet is encrypted. So what hackers do, they keep their malicious softwares or anything malicious data in that encrypted packet and forward. So decryption is very important. And it also apply app ID in application processes, and post that it check the security policy and apply the security profiles. There are many security profiles we will discuss in later slides, and that is the security profile. Based on that, entire threat inspections happens. So after completing all this process, it forward the packet to the intended zone or destinations. So these are the some of the features of Palo Alto firewall. App ID that I have said. App ID is basically, it has a Applipedia where lot of applications details is kept. Means whenever we are writing policies in Palo Alto, we not only write policy based on port number and protocol, but also we can use applications also that means Facebook or Twitter or any applications, HTTPS, HTTP, any application name also is visible there. in its applipedia. So we can write policy based on application, that I have to allow only Facebook, I have to allow only Twitter, I have to watch only Facebook videos, but I don't have to use Facebook chat. This sort of things to that level also can be controlled with applications. So since it is writing policy and identifying based on application, it works on, because it works on layer 7. So it's called the application based firewall also. User ID, I have already discussed that it is having feature of user ID. Based on that, we write policy based on user, and we can find the report based on user write policies with the help of user ID. Uh, and there is a threat prevention which is achieved with the help of antivirus database that it is having, which periodically gets updated on the interval which is predefined, like 5 minutes, like 10 and minutes, 1 days, weekly basis, or whatever is set as per the administrator. But recommended is set it every day. So every day, if any threat comes, it can be updated in their database. So next is URL filtering. It is having a URL filtering services also, allowing policies or writing policy based on URL. Means it is having different categories of URLs, whether it is gaming sites or like marketing sites or educational sites, different sites. So we can take actions, write policies based on URL categories. Also, we can write policy for particular URL. So we nowadays are hearing about credential phishing attack kind of thing. So that phishing attack also can be achieved with this URL filtering policies. Uh, so that phishing attack is to the most of the extent can be achieved with this URL filtering of Palo Alto. Traffic visibility, everything in the Palo Alto is visible. Whatever traffic is ingress or egress, we can see in ACC report. There is an ACC report where we see what application is passing, what user is accessing the application, from which geographical location, that in traffic visibility we see in ACC logs. So when it comes to network versatility and speed, Palo Alto network firewall can augment or replace your existing firewall and can be installed transparently in any network or configured to support a switched or routed environment. So in Palo Alto, three or four type of interfaces are there. Here we can see TAP, virtual wire layer 3. There is also layer 2 mode, HA mode. There are different interfaces. So these are the prime interface types to deploy in Palo Alto. Mostly in the deployment we use layer 3. Layer 3. Sorry, could you please mute? Somebody is unmuted. So one of the main mode of deployment is tap mode. In tap mode, basically enables passive monitoring of switch traffic from span or mirror port. Okay, this is like a switch. From there, we can connect a Palo Alto device in the existing environment, and whatever traffic is passing via the switch, it just passes the traffic to the Palo Alto, and Palo Alto monitors that from the span ports. This is basically used when we are doing the POC. POC means proof of concept. Before selling the device, the marketing people does this POC things. They attach the Palo Alto boxes in their environment and shows its features to the organization, that see these are the applications are working on environment, and this is the threats we have observed here. Yeah, means to say that they show the uniqueness of the firewall, and they try to impress their admin, and based on that they sell their product. So it is having a lot of features. Based on that, it identifies application space and everything. So in that time we configure this device in tap mode basically. So the next mode is layer 3 interface. It is like widely used interfaces. In this mode, all the deployment happens mostly. In here we get a lot of almost all the features of which is provided by the firewall, which we don't get in other modes. Here we can do routing, virtual routers, IP address assignment, everything is done, which is not done in virtual mode and all. Layer 3 mode supports maximum features available in the devices. In virtual wire interfaces, there is another mode which is virtual wire interfaces. It is also used in the environment where we don't want to make any changes in the neighboring device. Without informing the neighboring device, we are placing this device in between the two switches or two environments. And whatever traffic is passing from one device to other devices, it just monitors that and take actions based on the policies written in the firewall. So this is also useful, and uh, I got opportunity to deploy this one environment is virtual mode also. So security profile. Okay, so when I said that uh, features in which security profile basically is very important. Security profile inspect allowed traffic, whatever is the allowed traffic, it inspect. Security profile also implement additional security checks on allowed traffic. Okay, that we will show in next slide. We must apply security profile to all the allowed security policies. Okay, so these are the profiles. I just want to show, yeah. So this is the security profiles in which antivirus, anti-spyware, vulnerability protection, URL filtering, file blocking, data filtering, file analysis. These all are the security profiles which we configure in Palo Alto and apply to the allowed traffic. So if any traffic is allowed based on the source, destinations, and application, whatever we are writing in the policy, everything is allowed. Then this profile checks if there is any like malicious thing inside that packet or traffic. It takes action on based on their antivirus profile and policy. So what antivirus profile does is it detects infected files being transferred with the application. If any file is being transferred on the network, and if it is infected, then it takes actions. It blocks or like reset the packet, whatever actions has been like configured in the firewall. It take action accordingly. And there is another profile which is called anti-spyware, which detects spyware downloads and traffic from already installed spyware. So we know like some bots get installed in our environment, and that give information to its command and control center, which is very hard to detect with the traditional firewall. But with modern days firewall, next generation firewall, that bot can also be identified that it is installed in environment if it is installed. So based whenever the bot try to communicate with its command and control center, firewall just detect that and generate alerts, and the admin takes action based on that. There is other thing which is called vulnerability protection, which basically it is IPS. It detects attempts to exploit known software vulnerabilities. We know there are many software which is having vulnerable nature, like if it can be like a word application, it can be like any application in our environment which is vulnerable, and the hackers is aware about the vulnerability of that software. So it try to compromise that with vulnerability protections profiles. There is other profile, that is URL filtering. So with URL filtering, it classifies and control web browsing based on content. It has categorized different applications based on category, as I have said, like educational site, gaming site, entertainment, news. There are a lot of categories. For that, URL filtering profile come in picture. Also, phishing kind of attack is there. There is a provision to protect from that also. File blocking. If we don't want to allow specific file type, or if you want to block some file types, that also we can do with this file blocking profiles. There are a lot of file types, exe, jar, different lot of file types is there. Based on that, we can configure profile and apply on the security profile, and it perform actions accordingly. Data filtering, it is having DLP features also in Palo Alto. We can configure profile based on that and apply on the policies. Wildfire analysis, I have already informed that it is having a feature of geo protections which can be achieved with the wildfire analysis. For that, we have to configure this in security profile and apply on the policies. So, this is under the security profile. So yeah, when NAT type, it supports almost all the netting which exist in other firewalls also, like source NAT and destination NAT. So source NAT is what, when you can see in this picture, there is one user who wants to communicate on internet. So here the traffic will go to the firewall, this blue firewall, and here the firewall will NAT will do the NATing from its side and sends its own IP to the internet, and internet people will understand that it is communicating with the firewall. It will not show its original user to the internet applications or users. So in that case, source NAT is being used whenever we are accessing resources. And there is a destination NAT. In destination NAT, from outside user tries to access the internal resources. In the picture, you see that from internet, one arrow is coming and trying to access the web server. This server is hosted inside the organization. Okay, so from outside, whenever anybody is trying to access the internet resources, that time destination NAT works. So these were the theory part, and if you go through, if you find opportunity and go through that, you will get a lot of things apart from this. But these are the major things which I have said you. Apart from this, these are like the hands-on. If you get opportunity to do, then you will be getting this IP address. You can take access of the firewall with like management port or with serial console. So you see the picture in here. There is a management port. It's like a Ethernet port and console port. So with these two process, you can take access of the device, and the initial IPs is like 192.168.1.1 for the device to access. Whereas when it is VM series firewall, that time you can access it via DSCP. Uh, and it is having predefined credential like admin. With that you can take access to the device. This is a newer version of Palo Alto VM. So this is the main base of the Palo Alto VM series firewall. So on the top is the functional category area. You will get their device, network, object policies, monitor, SSE, and dashboard tabs. Right side, you see commit configuration changes. Whenever any changes is happening, that time we need to commit it so that it will like remain saved there. And next time it will get applied whenever we are accessing anything. So automatically, if we write anything, it will not get saved. If we have to like commit it, after committing only the policy comes in action. Help portal is there. If we don't know anything, then we can click on this icon and we can understand and know more information about everything. Clicking there. There is a task button, like in Windows, there is a task bar, whatever things happening in the system that shows in task manager area. Similarly, here in Palo Alto, we can click on task button and see whatever operations is going on. On the bottom left hand side, we see the logout button. From there, we can log out from the GUI. So like management interface configuration, whenever we are accessing the firewall, we need to configure first of all management interface. So with the GUI, we get this option from device setup interface management. So first of all, we do the management setup, and after that we can access the device. We can access the devices. uh, the other configuration, like we can change the host names initially. These are the initial configuration which we do. Host name we can change, and this is like the time zones and times date banners we can define initially. So DNS is also required to be configured. If we don't configure DNS, then the box will not reach to the internet, and it won't be able to get the like configurations, updates which we get from the vendors that we own it. So DNS settings is required for both to get access of internet. There is a term in Palo Alto which is called service route. Basically, what service route does it by default, Palo Alto reaches via management plane only to the internet for its update service, DNS servers and NTP servers, SSL and syslog. This sort of services it access via management only. But if we are changing, if we want to get this access via the data plane, then we can make these changes via service route. So this question is asked in interviews also of Palo Alto service route. What is service route? What is function? This sort of things is asked. So if we see here, this is fine under device set of services, service route configuration. Here from we can make changes from management to make any interface as service route. From if we make these changes, then the traffic will pass via the interface. So activating license. License activation is also important point whenever we are installing any browser. That time we need to activate the license, whether it is a hardware device or VM device. In both, activation of license is important. So there is some process. For that, we get the serial number authorization feed. We create a portal account in the Palo Alto, and there we put that serial number, and after that we receive license from the boxes. So it gets tested on the box, and so the licenses, different license like DNS security or your URL services, whatever license you are processing, that goes here. So these were the few things. But one thing I would like to say that this is one of the leader in the market. If you go through this about this firewall, you will get a lot of opportunity to market. So if you have any queries, any questions, you can ask me.
Thank you, Mr. Om, for enlightening us. If the learners have queries, please feel free to ask.
So I would like to inform you that you will get the admin guide and all on the internet. You just have to search like Palo Alto admin guide. If you type on the Google, you will get the admin guide where you can have a lot of information. Also, there is a beacon portal. From there, you can get information about this device, because license is not easily available. So it's difficult to do practice without having license. Okay, so you can learn theory, and there are many coaching center also they offer. You can learn from there. But if you want to make your career in like security, network security, then this is the like best device you can learn and get opportunities. There's a lot of opportunity in market.
Okay, no questions. Okay, thank you, Mr. Om, for sparing your valuable time. I also will thanks all the participants for their active participation. Please fill the attendance and the feedback form in the link. I have already shared the link with you on your chat box. Wish you a very happy weekend. Thank you very much. Thank you, Om.
Thank you, Jitan sir. Thank you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Om.